Welcome back to a new video for the cloud series. Today I'm going to be provisioning public cloud storage solutions. Going to be doing two things essentially. Just provisioning an S3 bucket for AWS and then provisioning an Azure storage account for its resources, which sort of in the same vein of what I did in the last video that I did, where I actually went over provisioning cloud resources. But nonetheless, we can go ahead and get started with first provisioning the S3 bucket. Now, Amazon, what an S3 bucket is, right, while it's loading here, is the Amazon simple storage service, better known as S3, right? And it's offered within AWS. Now, it provides high durability, high availability, high performance, and it's a massively scalable storage solution. So what I'm going to do is provision an S3 bucket within AWS. For what I'm first going to do now, objects, which are entities which are stored in Amazon S3, right? Like files and the associated metadata that describes the file, right? Now, once an object is uploaded to S3, right, it must be stored in a container known as an S3 bucket, right? And what I'm going to do is just create an S3 bucket and upload an object, right? So as you can see, I'm already logged into AWS. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's start here. Let's head to storage, right? And then let's take a look at S3, of course. Then we're going to create a bucket from here. Okay, create bucket. And bucket name. Okay, there we go. The region, that's good. All right, perfect. And I'm not gonna worry about everything else. I'm gonna create the bucket. Perfect. That will click a lot quicker than Azure, I'll tell you that. But nonetheless, we have to create the new bucket for the practice lab, right? So let's actually, oh darn, I should have clicked on the details. Go here. All right, perfect. And now we can upload. We're gonna add a folder, right? And let's take a look here. Yeah, here, right? Actually, you know what? Let me go back up. And there we go. Upload. Well, quite a bit, 40 files, but nonetheless, it did upload pretty quickly too. But now let's take a look. Now that we're here, take a look at the properties tab here. We can take a look at everything that's going on. All right, now for the properties tab, let me explain a bit for here. We can see a few different things, right? We can see like a bucket versioning, right? Like the bucket type tag, default encryption, AWS like CloudTrail data events if it has any event notification, transfer acceleration, static website hosting, object lock, things of that nature. And we can see for all of these. But nonetheless, I'll just put that back up here. But nonetheless, that is provisioning an S3 bucket. Pretty simple, straight to the point as far as being able to do that. Now I'm going to get right ahead. I'm going to jump right into provisioning an Azure storage account resources. Let's go ahead and get started there. All right, so getting started there. Now, as I mentioned before in the last video, Azure offers various solutions for provisioning storage to meet whatever requirements that are needed for any enterprise or business, right? And the solution is you want to make sure that it's optimized for its intended function, right? Grant system admins, right? Access to scalable, available, durable, secure storage, right? Nonetheless. So what I'm going to do, again, pretty much nearly the exact same thing I did in the last video. I'm going to provision a storage account in Azure, create a blob container, and then create an Azure file share within that container as well once it's fully loaded here. Right. Come on, it should go right into Azure for me. Oh, excuse me. I'm taking a while for others to load. All right, first, of course, let's head to storage account. All right. Please. Of course, we want to create it with a slightly different name this time around. All right, we're gonna do cloud plus storage 01 this time, right? And then we want UK South, which is good, performance standard. We want the local, of course, right? Then we can go to next. REST API is good. Uh, don't see, yeah, key access is good, right? And take a look here. Routing, Microsoft Network is good. Public access from all networks is good. Perfect. Take a look at our data protection. Uh, then wait for the validation. Create, and the deployment should be fairly quick, so we can move forward at that point with container. So we need to do here. So now we're complete, right? So we can actually just exit this out. So now I can create the block container. But certain forms of data don't necessarily always fit a specific mold or a scheme, right? And for files that tend to be more, how do I put it, diverse, right? Provisioning a block container is usually recommended. Now, when it's highly flexible block containers, they can also be attached like virtual machines directly as like map storage or accessed by utilizing like tools like Storage Explorer for Azure, things of that nature, right? So what I'm going to do first is actually, because last time I did it within a confines of uploading the file, this time I'll have the file already created. So let's actually go here. And then let's do a new document. Okay, what's it doing? How am I not able to name it? Weird. Let's just delete it. So, okay, I'll just do this. Perfect. I'll just leave this here. All right. So now I'm just gonna bring this back up. Then we can go back here. All right. And so now that we're in the resource, we can take a look at our containers, and then we can create a new one. Right. Perfect. Private. Good. All right. So we perfect. So we created it. So let's actually exit that and just go here. Then we can upload, browse, document, sample, upload. Right. So we can see all the metadata. Right. So we can see again everything just like full metadata details, just like I showcased in the last video that I did, right? And you can see the should be a change tier option as far as that. But nonetheless, I'll move forward with the file here for Azure. All right. So again, covered that I what I covered before, right? The creation of a file share for an on-premises environment. So Azure offers a cloud solution that allows more scalability when setting up the file share, right? So whether the intention is to replace or supplement an existing on-premise file server. So initially, we're offering fully managed file shares accessible through multiple industry standards, Azure Files, uh, REST API, NFS and SMB protocols. So what I'm going to do is just provision the file share. Right. So let's actually see. So go here. There we go. And then take a look here. There we go. And then we're gonna add one. Okay, perfect, perfect. Transaction optimized, and then can actually create after validate. Right. Oh, fairly quick. I go deployment that may fail because of the environment that I'm in. All right, so that's fine. Let's actually go back to here. There we go. Let's edit our quota here. We want this to be 2,000. Perfect. All right, perfect. And there you go. So I was able to successfully create an Azure file share after initially provisioning the Azure storage account resources. Uh, Fairly quick, fairly easy as far as making sure that everything is the way that it should be, at least surface level as much as possible. Because obviously, in a real world scenario, it may be a bit more intricate, right? But nonetheless, this also brings us to the end of the video. Just for a brief recap, we provision public cloud storage solutions through provisioning an S3 bucket, fairly quick and easy. Provisioning Azure storage account resources as well through Azure containers and file shares also. That was definitely a lot of fun. Going to have even more fun. We'll be actually kind of still stay within the same vein on the next video. Where we actually provision private cloud storage solutions. Hope to see you there. In the meantime, stay curious, stay secure.